and welcome to the January meeting of the Public Works Committee. I want to welcome back an old friend of this committee who's back with us, and I'm thrilled to see her, Elena Finnan. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
For being here this morning and for rejoining the team. And can I call on Kathy Poston to call the roll? And anybody
Sure.
who's not on mute or lowered, just so we get through this, that would be great.
Okay, Chairperson McGraw is here. Supervisor Syed.
I'm here. Good morning, everyone.
Morning. Matt Yetto.
I'm here.
Ismat alive? Brian Backus. Stan Fominski.
I'm here.
Alexis Kim. Paul Briggs.
Good morning.
Morning. Josh Holly.
I'm here.
Michelle Martinelli.
Here.
Elena Finnan.
Here.
Rosemary Jacquith. Bill McPartlin. John Delarada. Laura Robertson.
I'm here.
Janet Wynn. Ray Smith.
Here.
Pete Rakvitka.
He's here also.
Okay, thanks. Anyone that I missed?
Jessica Gerber here.
Hi, Jessica. Okay, great. Okay, thank you all.
Thank you, Kathy. I'll now ask for a motion to entertain the minutes or entertain any additions, edits, corrections.
Motion.
Okay, second.
I will second.
Thank you. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Okay, we'll move on to water and sewer items. Matt?
Okay, so item 2, admin engineering, just an update on our COVID response. Currently have 3 staff members who are in quarantine due to exposure from outside of work. No one is currently sick that we know of, but they were exposed. So hopefully they'll be back within a week or so, and we'll move forward. We continue with our steps to keep people isolated as much as possible while at work, and promoting masks and other PPE and washing hands and sanitation or sanitizing of the workspaces. So we'll just keep our fingers crossed and keep moving forward. Item 3, attorney's items. Paul, there's just a few on here for
Okay.
mainly
So before we go to attorney's items, so for the second time this week, at least, I've been in a meeting where we've learned that 3 members of our staff are impacted by COVID. Does has Ismet's office been told this? Ismet, is this on the list that we're trying to compile and stay ahead of this?
Actually, I did. I sent an email a couple of days ago,
Yes.
and those were on it. Yes.
Yeah, great.
Yes. So I said, yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
And Matt, you're familiar with what the process is going to be now?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Attorney's items. Attorney Briggs?
Yes, Whitmire Drive sewer extension. We are still waiting to hear from the residents of Whitmire Drive. So that's waiting for a decision on whether they want to go forward or not. We haven't gotten any response. Pierce Road.
So I think last time we discussed this, we said we would perhaps circle back with them and give some sort of date or something. Was that something that
I don't remember what.
Okay.
I don't recall that.
Okay. Should there be some sort of deadline, or we're just going to let this? I mean, this has been the #1 attorney item for 2 years now.
So I'll send them a letter asking that we have a response by, let's say, April 1st. The reason that we need to, all these extensions need to move forward is because we have to take advantage of the 2021 construction season if it's going to be done this coming season. So the project takes probably 2 or 3 months just to get to the going out to bid stage. So,
Right.
that
So is April 1 too late for that, Matt?
No, I think that would still give you enough time. It's a relatively small project. I wouldn't go much later than that, though.
it is what we call a forced main project on Whitmire, so it's not the deep excavation. It's normal for a standard gravity sewer. So let's move it up to March 1, just to be safe.
You're more familiar with what's going on over there and your interactions with them. I'm not trying to impose a false deadline. I just know that this has gone on for a while, right? And not much is, something's got to give, right?
Okay, I'll ask for a response by March 1st. Pierce Road, I prepared the petition. I'm going to be meeting with the residents. There's only 1, 2, 4, 5 that I have to meet with that are yeses, that are sufficient. And so that will be something that, let's see, we'll need that for, when's our January board meeting? End of the month, the last Tuesday.
Yeah, the 22nd.
So I'm going to try to have something for that board meeting for Pierce Road, a resolution.
Great, because that's the same situation, right? We need some sort of answer sooner rather than later.
No, we have all the answers on Pierce Road.
So
We've
you're
got,
going to start they're going to start doing the construction?
well, we've got to go through the process to have the town board approve the project. It's got to go to the comptroller's office.
Right.
And then it goes to the next stage of construction. But the next stage is for the residents on Pierce Road that are in favor of this to sign a petition to present to the town board.
Right.
And I'm going to, that'll be prepared by the town board meeting.
Oh, okay. Thank
Hey,
you.
Paul, at what point do we go out to bid for the project?
Not until it goes through all the administrative hurdles.
Okay.
Right. So we're starting to push up against it for all of these things, right?
Yes. The city water matter, we have a tentative meeting scheduled for January 18th in the morning. I'm meeting with the town attorney or the city corporation council. The city has outside counsel. That meeting is going to be, looks like we're not sure if it's an in-person or virtual. It sounds like it's going to be a virtual meeting for the 18th in the morning.
And I think then, Paul, they have now said that they can't do the 18th because it's Martin Luther King Day.
Okay. I'm a little out of the loop right now. So
I know.
Then we're going to aim for the 25th.
Okay.
Paul, I have one additional thing to add to that conversation with the city. Part of the Rivers Ledge project, they're tying in our water main to the city's water main on Aqueduct Road, and it would change the way in which we meter the water from the city for that section of town. Currently, we use the meters in the homes, but as part of that project, I want them to install a master water meter between the city and the town. So I don't know if that would have to go through the contract that we have, the language, just to identify that as how we're going to be measuring the flow.
So will Rivers Ledge be getting their water from the city?
They'll be getting it from the city and from the town. It'll be a shared direction, come from either direction based on demand, primarily down Walltown Road. But the city, there's several homes on that road now that are getting water from the city. They're going to continue to get water from the city, but it's going to be measured by a master meter rather than adding up everyone's meters in their homes. It's more accurate for the city. They'll get a better realistic read too.
Then how do we meet? So but we're still gonna use the meters in the home to measure what they have to pay each month, each individual.
Yeah. The problem is by using the meters in the homes for how much water we buy from the city, it doesn't account for water loss from breaks or from flushing hydrants. So it's more accurate for the city to have a master meter.
Okay, so I'll be sure that's part of any future water contract.
Yeah, it's beneficial to them.
Okay. Ingersoll home, that's Josh. Any update on that?
No update yet. The last word was near the end of December. They were getting some materials in that they were waiting on, and then they were going to begin construction. I have not heard from them yet if they've started, but I will. I'll follow up with them and should have an update by the next meeting on the progress.
What's the construction time on something like that? Is that something that can be done, say, in a week?
Yeah, it's like a week or two. Yeah, it's not a huge undertaking. It should be about a week or 2 weeks of construction at the most, I would say.
And what are they what did they decide to do? Are they putting in a grinder pump?
Yeah, it's a grinder pump, so they'll have a structure outside the building that all their sewage will drain into that structure and then be pumped from there to the gravity sewer, the town gravity sewer.
Okay, thank you.
Can I ask a question? Sorry, again. I sent an email this morning. I just have a question about ESG. What are the next steps with that? In regarding to the EGS proposal, we had a team meeting, met with them last month. So with the
Paul, what's
DC,
the status of ESG? I know that we needed to get them a document. Has that gone out?
So Matt has sent the letter. Matt and I worked on a letter that went to DEC to get information from DEC as to the next step on accepting the new waste.
Okay. And it was some other document or something between our agreement and them had to be something sent, or?
ESG was going to rework that document and send it to us. That was my understanding.
That's what I recall too.
Okay.
Okay.
I will follow up with them, Ms. Matt.
thank you.
Thank you.
And the ESG representative, you'll recall, was going to be out the rest of the year. He was taking time off, so he probably is. He got that information to me right away. That assisted Matt and I. It's actually the same day, and the information to send to DEC. But he did note that he was going to be out the rest of the year.
Right.
So we are waiting for DEC now?
Yes.
Well, I did hear back from DEC, and they requested more information on our build out and our. They mentioned that our pilot did not include fats, oils, and greases. Our original plan that we sent to DEC for their approval did include all of that. So I'm reworking the proposal that we sent to them back in 2018 to update it, because in that plan that we sent to the state, we had some proposed or some projected activities that would go on as far as construction, training. That's all done. So I need to change the language so that it represents the current situation. But all the proposed acceptance of the high strength waste, of the fogs, the fats, oils, and greases, that hasn't changed. So they already have it, but I'm rewording it so that it's a more up-to-date document, even though they already have it.
But you're going to remind them, Matt, that they have that already?
I will. I'll say, here's an updated copy of what was sent to you back in 2018. And I was going to work with Martin LaJuda, so they're the ones that actually drafted that document, rather than me take their document and modify it. I'm going to ask them to incorporate my changes and then have them send it back over.
What's the timing on?
I could do it within a week.
Okay. Bless you, Denise. Bless you. Can we add this item to our list going forward? And please, can I just please can I just request this team one thing? If through email, if you can just give everybody regular updates, because we are already in January of this year. and we budgeted a lot of revenue for this. So I'm just my
Yeah,
memory is failing. So if we can,
I forwarded DEC's response to Paul, but I can include everybody in that.
thank you. Just regular, like a quick email to this team so we know where we are.
Sure.
Thank you. Sorry.
That's her polite way of saying, get this going.
Yep.
She's being genteel. Okay. Anything else under attorney's items?
I have one item to add that was brought to my attention. 240 Menlo Park Drive is requesting a fence easement. They want to install a fence and a portion of a utility easement in the backyard. I know, Ray, you're on the call.
Yes, I am.
So I believe that was sent to your office. Do you guys have any problem with that?
Well, when you look at the plans that were sent over, it looks like the fence is actually in the middle of the right of way. But if you go over there and look at the stakes, it seems to be off to one side. It is a closed drainage system and it does run right along parallel to it. So I really don't have any issue with it.
Do you want them to modify the drawing to accurately describe it, though, just so that in the future you have it? No issues?
Well, I think Paul does. I mean, the standard agreement, Paul, is if we do ever have to get in there to do maintenance, we're not responsible for that, correct, Paul?
That's correct.
Okay, so I'm good with that. It looks like it's far enough off the pipe. It is ADS pipe, so really the chances of it rotting out are slim to none. About the only thing you could get was erosion that we might have to get in there to repair. So I'm okay with the project as it is, Matt.
Okay, thank you. We don't want to approve something that you guys would be having to deal with that wouldn't be to your liking.
Nope,
So, thank you.
We appreciate your help on that. Thank you.
Matt, have Josh.
Briggs? Paul Briggs, are you saying something?
Lose him?
Because I had another attorney's item. Okay, let's wait for him to get himself together. While we have Ray, this constituent item that's been going on since, I guess, August or July or something, the guy with the drain pipe in his backyard.
Barton Place?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so I did a follow-up email with what I had on my files as far as there was an end section there. It seemed to be unaligned with the stream, so we realigned the end section, set it back down, but there seems to be maybe some additional reason for a flow over there. According to the pictures, it looks like it runs through the middle of the yards where, the natural grading plan would probably allow it to go. But it does seem, if we've never had a problem there and now they have flooding, there may be, it could be from building on the backside. I really don't know. It probably should be really investigated and maybe a redesign on the way the water flows.
Okay. I'm sorry, I missed this email from you, Ray, so I didn't see this. So who would do that?
Well, Matt has agreed, Matt and Josh. I acknowledge Josh had offered to help us in any way earlier. And, I know it came in August, we had paving, then we had leaves. So we did get over there and address what was obvious, which was the end section. I do agree with the homeowner. He does have above average flow. Not something typically we would grade this time of year, but
Yeah.
we could. Matt and Josh have both agreed. They responded yesterday to my email that, they would help look at what's causing this and possibly a remedy. And then, upon their recommendations, we could schedule the work.
Okay. Well, sorry, I just missed your email, I guess, but, so who's going to communicate with the neighbor?
I
don't know. Does it say that in the email? I'm looking, I don't see it, but maybe
Yeah.
it went to my spam.
Yasmin, did you get it? You were on there.
I believe I did. So Denise, I'll forward that to you.
Great. I know, because you
yeah.
had said, keep this
Yeah.
same group of people, everybody should be getting everything. So I'm sure it was sent to me.
Right.
I mean,
That
Matt
happens.
responded to me right away. So, I mean, it did go out.
That happens to me all the time. I get.
Yeah. No, I'm sure it
like,
did. I mean, I saw what you said, Yasmin, so I'm sure that Ray did that. It must have gone to my spam or something. So,
Yeah, that happens.
so
I
who's
can
responsible
respond.
for speaking to the resident?
I'm going to respond on behalf of our group. So everybody that was on that email, I'll respond back to the resident today.
Great.
I think if Josh and Matt are gonna design something or look at it, maybe Josh should be included in that. So at least they have a contact.
Yeah.
I mean, we're gonna
I
do
had
the work.
included Josh in my stuff. So yeah, and he seemed to know who Josh was. I think at some point I saw that. So, okay. So are you saying it's better that engineering takes it over now, Ray?
Well, I think as far as the design concept and the contact with the homeowner, so that he knows that we are actively trying to come up with a solution until the construction point, and then we'll take it from there.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Yep.
Is Paul back?
Okay. We'll go
Yes,
back
I'm here.
to Paul.
I'm here.
Okay. Matt, you had something for Paul?
No, I think you said you had something, Denise.
I did. Keep moving and I'll.
Okay. The next section, the water and sewer maintenance. Last month, the town board approved the fee increases for private hydrant maintenance contracts. I know Josh had worked last year on drafting a new annual contract that we would have with the owners of private hydrants in town. And I know that Alexis had provided some comments. I believe he incorporated her comments. The only change that we'll have to make is just finalize the dollar amount which the town board approved last month. So we should be able to send letters out to the property owners in the next couple weeks and get that going, if not sooner.
Okay.
B, truck 89 is one of our 10-wheel dump trucks. It went down to Albany Mac for repairs. And while they had it, they ran into more issues, and the cost of the repair ended up going over what my authority is. It's now $6,777. I can only go up, I think, to $6,500. So this would require finance committee approval. It's a very critical piece of equipment for us. We use it every time I have a water break or do any work really in the department. So I would need to have that go through finance, but have them do the work now, or have the work completed, and just do it retroactively if possible.
Okay.
Okay.
Can I ask one question? Sorry.
Mhm.
With the annual fire hydrant maintenance agreement, we talked about increasing the fee by CPI every year. Is it going to be part of the agreement? It's going to be.
We can add that on there.
I think that would be awesome.
The agreement is signed annually, so it's not a perpetual agreement. We reach out to everybody to have them signed every year. We could adjust the fee annually, I think.
Okay, thank you.
That works. Section 5, the wastewater plant. So I covered this in the previous section as far as the high strength waste program. I'll work on getting that that information to DEC as soon as possible and keep moving forward. The roll-off truck, I put it on here. It needed repairs because initially we thought it was going to need possibly in excess of $20,000 of repairs because we thought that the head gasket had blown on the engine. I think we got lucky when they started tearing it down at the garage, and with some help from one of our contractors that we deal with a lot. In talking with him, he made some suggestions. I think it looks as if it was just a much more reasonable repair. I think it's going to run about $2,000 for the repair of the truck, and not $20,000. So I don't need the approval for that, but it was on there because initially we thought it was going to be very expensive. That's a truck that we use for hauling our sludge. We're still looking at sludge disposal options. I'm still trying to work with Johnstown's Gloversville's wastewater plant. They're not really being very receptive to us continuing to dump our sludge there. But we do have other options, other landfills, and Keith, the plant operator, is coordinating with those other places and doing the testing of our sludge that's necessary before they can accept our sludge. I'll mention one thing that happened yesterday. The methane gas collection piping at the plant, a portion of it started to show leaks and was corroding very badly. I contacted ESG, Kevin Jones from ESG, and he was there with Schultz, the contractor who did the installation, within a day. They looked at it late yesterday afternoon, and they've taken responsibility for any repairs that would be needed. They're baffled at what caused the issue. If it was just a bad pipe or something that they don't understand. They're working with the engineer who did the design. So as of right now, there will be no cost to us. It's all within the warranty period for that. I just wanted to bring that up. The water plant, as I mentioned earlier, last year, Tim Nagel is retiring. I spoke to him yesterday. He's pushed his date a little bit, and I think it's more likely that he'll be leaving mid or early February, not January. I believe he sent a letter or an email back to the town indicating his plan to retire. But as far as his replacement, I know it's a tested position. We have staff on hand that qualify for that position. Do I need to go out to? Is there a list right now, or can we appoint and then provisionally and then wait for the test to come along? I guess that's a question for Ismat.
Okay. He's the one who's taking advantage of the retirement incentive.
Yes.
So with that, we have to let's get together after this tomorrow. I am working from home today, and let's look at that, because according to the resolution, we have to show savings for 2 years. So either it's delayed hiring, or at a lower level, or what needs to be done. So, but we can have an offsite talk.
There will be savings by him leaving. We have requirements by our license or our permit with the state to require that level of operator, but there is savings there. I can explain to it.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, so let me look into that. I think most probably we'll have to contact civil service at this point.
Just an update, Charlie Bergami is working with our water plant and our water and sewer maintenance garage to transfer over all the alarms that are there that used to go to the UCC that are now going to a third party. Thank you, Ray, for letting Charlie find the time to do that. Utility billing. The town board approved the rate changes. I was just curious if we wanted to put out a letter or just put information on the webpage to inform the customers of the rate change. It was a rather minor change for the residential. It's been hit or miss. Some years we do letters, some years we don't. And I really don't see any difference in the level of interaction with the public when years that we do send out letters or years that we don't send out letters. We don't get a lot of feedback either way. So I was just looking for the committee's opinion on that.
I think it's important to communicate with them, but if we're communicating with them, telling them that, you know, there's a shortfall there, but we're spending up the money to send them a letter to tell them that, it's probably counterintuitive. So can you draft something that would go on the website? So at least if people do have questions, they have somewhere to go.
Yeah, and I find the website seems to be more effective anyway these days as far as communication. So I can do that.
Great. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm. So the city sewer bill for the second half of 2020, when we added all the numbers up based on the flows, it looks as if we're going to be short in the line to pay the city. However, there is adequate funding or money in other lines in Sewer District 1. So we would be able to cover that cost with budget modifications. Kathy's worked up the number. It's just slightly over $15,000, but there is money in the other lines in Sewer 1. So it's not as if we would have to go to fund balance to get that.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And Finance Committee Board action. These are just items from mainly from up above, but I just leave it on there every month because it's an ongoing thing. The franchise agreement with Spectrum.
Alexis sent an email this morning about Spectrum to Spectrum and PSC. So I'll forward that to you when we're done.
Okay.
My Alexa goes off in my house every time I say Alexis. So excuse me for a second. Alexa off. Okay.
Yeah, mine as well. What was I say? So B is just the truck 89 repairs that I mentioned above, and C the budget modifications for the end of the year type of things to cover minor expenses at the end of the year. And then also the cost for the additional money to the city for the sewer. And then there's one other item down below, which I'll mention for the transfer station. So for the transfer station and recycling center, the former site is stabilized as well as it's going to be for the year, for the winter. And then in the spring, Ray is going to work to finalize the grading there. And I want to thank him for everything he's done so far. Once we get that site cleaned up, then we can use that as the location for recycling events and TV and shred events. Looking forward to doing that, clean that whole site up. Item B, at the end of the year, we ended up being slightly over budget for hauling of and disposal of the transfer station recyclables and garbage. Looks about $3,000 that we're going to need to come up with to cover the cost. There are other lines in the transfer station and landfill that have extra funds in them at the end of last year that we could pull that money from.
Okay.
Part of it is we ended up going with a private hauler for the waste. So there is money in the labor line that was for our staff to drive the trucks to deliver the waste. So some of that money can be taken from there.
Oh, there has to be other money in labor lines. We were closed for a while, right?
Yeah, but the majority, but I know for a fact we did not use that labor to haul. So I know that line.
Okay.
I think that's
Okay.
$2,000
Yeah,
in it.
no. I'm just saying that I don't think, I think you've got the money somewhere.
Yeah, I think I don't know exactly how much is in that line. I don't usually focus on that line because I don't have any control of that line. But
Really?
I can see how much is in there. But I do know I looked briefly yesterday. There's several lines that have a little bit here, a little bit there, and then I know quite a bit in the landfill line that we didn't use. So we could tap some of that. But it's only $3,000 in the overall scheme of it. It's not a huge dollar amount.
Okay.
And that's all I have right now. I had an executive session on the agenda, but I don't think it's necessary anymore.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Does anybody have anything else? So Matt, for whatever you need resolutions for, you're going to get that to Elena?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, great. Does anybody have anything else? If not, our next meeting is February 4th, and I look forward to seeing everybody at that time. Thank you all your time this morning, and have a great day.
Thank you.
You too.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, you too.
Bye, everybody.